All right, y'all, and welcome to video number oh, 33. This one should be pretty brief. I was listening to Alex O'Connor again, and he was discussing the existential iceberg or something along those lines. And there was one segment in particular that I felt like I need to go ahead and give the counter argument for from the Meek perspective, because it relates directly, well, pretty closely to the Meek philosophy, the Meek gnosis, that we believe that this world is created through the consciousness of God. And then it is our consciousness observing the consciousness that creates this circuit, that creates the experience of existence. So that belief is slightly different than what's being talked about here, but he has one key objection that brings a component of the Meek philosophy right to the front. So let's go ahead and shrink me down a little bit. We'll watch this little segment down here, and then I'll give my thoughts. So let's see. I'm just gonna have to do the all right and move myself off to the side, and let's see how this goes. Hit the play button.
Observation creates the universe. Okay, it's generally thought that the material world around us exists whether we're here to observe it or not. But some people think that the universe only exists because of our observation, or because of our minds sort of creating it. I suppose the person to reference here is George Berkeley and his philosophy of idealism. This is the view that there are no material objects, there's no material world. The only thing that exists are ideas in people's minds. I don't have the time or the expertise to go into George Berkeley's philosophy in depth here, but the basic idea is that the universe is kind of created by the mind, or is an idea or set of ideas within the mind. And the idea that the universe is created by observation suffers from a similar objection to George Berkeley's worldview. That objection is this: if the universe only exists because it's being observed, suppose I light a candle and then I leave the room. An hour later I come back into the room and the candle has melted. But if the universe only exists insofar as it's being observed, how is this possible? If the candle only exists if it's being observed, then when I left the room, it should have ceased to exist. And when I came back, it might have started to exist again, but it should be in the same state that I left it. It has to have existed in the meantime in order to have melted. But how does it exist if the universe is created by observation? In the context of George Berkeley, he had a very straightforward answer to this. Well, the candle is still being observed when you leave the room, just not by you. It's being observed by someone else. Can you guess who? So George Berkeley's idealism is, at least in his view, a novel proof for the existence of God. God is the ultimate observer who creates the universe. Now, I think that if you believe the universe is created by observation, then you do suffer from this objection a little bit, and maybe are led into the hands of this argument for God's existence. So in the context of the existential crisis iceberg, well, this might be something that doesn't cause an existential crisis. It might actually solve one, because it leads you right into the hands of an argument for the existence of God. Mystery of consciousness.
All right. So this idea that the candle exists because it is observed. In the Meek gnosis philosophy, this is semi-true. It exists because God's consciousness creates it. It puts it into the field as a possibility. Then at some point in time, someone makes a candle. And once that candle is made, it is observed by the human mind, closing the circuit, making it what we would consider to be real. It went from information to sort of like a consolidated memory storage of information. That's what an object is. Take my glasses. This is information. It's stored into a little package that we consider and view and handle and see as a pair of glasses. But its origin and its actual construction is literally information. Just talk to any physicist. But this idea that you light a candle in a room and then walk away, how does it continue to still burn? Well, this is one of the key components of existence. You have the Father, which is information. You have the Mother, which is power. These two form consciousness. And there's the third component that he is apparently not aware of, and that is nature. The Tao, the way of things. See, once you light it, nature takes over. And your own mind will calculate, once you leave the room, the burn rate of the candle from your experience, or even the shared experience of human beings around you. And this is easy to understand: is how do you catch a ball? How does a human being shoot an animal as it moves, or any target? How do we, learn how to intercept two moving objects? Because we can predict these things. We can see them and calculate them with our mind. So this rate of burn of a candle is predictable in our mind based on the experience that we've had throughout our whole entire life. Now, if you had an infant or something, I assume it'd have no idea what the burn rate would be. And that would be an interesting idea. But again, the information and the nature is already stored into this physical object. It is information generated by consciousness and becomes real and tangible through our consciousness. This is the circuit that creates our reality, and it is governed by nature. So this candle isn't observed by God. That isn't why it continues to burn at a rate. It is observed by us. It exists in our mind. In our mind, our beings, this is an interesting concept that I've been thinking about lately, is like all living life sort of acts like a RAM memory chip in a computer. It's like we observe all these things in our world, and we serve as like a memory of where they are. So as consciousness searches around, the map is loaded from our own memory. All living life in this creation is the memory that holds the map. Nothing else needs to hold the map. It's a self-feeding cycle. As we fuel ourselves, we're literally fueling the memory that stores the information of where everything is located, which is a weird way to see a human being, as a RAM chip. But in a way, we kind of are. But back to the candle. No, it is nature. And it is one of those things that people fail to take into consideration in a lot of philosophies, where they try and reduce it down to too small of a fine point where it's just observation or just consciousness. And I think the Tao, the nature of things, is a fundamental principle that we can't forget about. And I'm going to leave it there. It's halftime of the game. I just got off work, so wearing my work clothes. I need a shower. Drinking some lemon water with a Pellegrino there. It's really nice. Kind of enjoy it after work. But that's it for today, my friends. Let's remember, this creation is created by the consciousness of God, which is the Mother and the Father. It's knowledge and power. The knowledge is the information that literally constructs these things. The power is what gives them energy and life, electromagnetism, and it's nature that gives them their predefined function on how they, function, behave. How things behave is predefined. And with that, my friends, I will see you on the next one.